T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to The Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique, host-created top 10 lists, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle and Adam Poston.
And welcome to another episode of The Twisted 10. The Twisted 10, if you didn't hear the intro, is a unique host-created top 10 list. And each host that week brings their list, and the other guests on the show or the other co-hosts have no clue what it is. So we've had quite a few Twisted 10s that we've already done in the past. This is episode, I think, 35, 36, somewhere in there. I don't know. I'm not your host this week, though. My name is Adam. I am a guest this week. Let's throw it over to Andrea.
My name is Andrea Joy, and I'm also a guest this week.
All right, and special guest with us in the studio this week, who isn't hosting, he's just sitting in with us this week, is Mr. Ray Brito.
What's up?
How you doing, Ray? Ray is the host of the Gallows Humor Podcast. Same place you found our show. Do a search for Gallows Humor Podcast. You can find it. And, Tack, you got to forgive me. I got a little bit of a cold this week, so I'm sounding a little bit under the weather. I apologize.
Sound like shit.
You
I know.
sound sexy.
I mean sexy.
I'm
I
all
get those
nasally.
confused.
Nasally is the same thing as sexy, which is the same thing as shit.
Makes you feel better,
What's
though.
that, Ray?
Autocorrect.
Yeah, correct.
So who's hosting this week, Tack?
So this week's host is me.
Woohoo.
My name is Tack. Hi.
Hey,
Welcome.
Tack.
Hi, Tack.
Hi, Tack. And so this week I am hosting the show. I'm excited to bring you this new list this week. But first thing I want to bring up is we got a couple of emails.
All right.
To the show.
Ooh.
Very nice.
So this
How do
first one,
people email us, by the way?
they can email us at
Computer.
thetwisted10 at gmail.com. If you have any ideas for top 10 lists, or maybe you want to do your own list on the show, we can do that through Skype, or if you live in the area, you can come out to the studio. So we got a couple of emails. Now this first guy, I'm not going to give his name away in this one.
Okay, that's probably good.
I will in the other one. I'll tell her first name. But this guy here, he runs. First of all, he's like all in top 10 lists. He loves top 10 lists.
I can see how he found this show then.
Yeah, and he is a CEO and founder of. He lives over in Australia.
Crikey.
Yeah, and but I guess he's originally from the UK, and he's heavily influenced by top 10 lists. He says he's actually the CEO and founder of Official Top 10 Night, an events company that brings people together through the love of top 10 lists, proudly supporting suicide prevention organizations worldwide.
Oh, very cool.
So he's got some events coming up, and he loves the show and is interested in doing some
Is he
sort
ready
of.
to start sponsoring us? Was he interested in?
Well, he's thinking about also. He's going to be starting up. Maybe
They use that
something.
funny money down there in Australia, though, don't they? They don't use
Those weird coins with
Yeah.
holes in them and shit.
Yeah, and like bones and teeth and stuff. Isn't that-
Yeah.
drop bears, all kinds
Yeah.
of shit out there.
Rocks.
It's sad that our stereotype of Australians is either Crocodile Dundee or the alligator, the alligator hunter, Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
You can't forget
rest
about
in
their
peace.
kangaroo pets.
Those are our two stereotypes for them. What's their stereotype for the U.S.? Like Yosemite Sam or something? What's
Cheeseburgers.
cheeseburgers? Okay.
That's it.
Cheeseburgers.
And so he has some events coming up and possibly doing some sort of radio show. Anyway, he wants
that's
to do
cool.
some cross promotion with us.
That doesn't sound like it's a piece of spam that we get. That sounds like a legitimate email.
This
That's
is,
cool.
Yeah. So,
Dude, I'm on board. Let's do it.
yeah, so I'm going to get back with him probably tomorrow.
Just when you
And,
you talk to him and you set up the trip to Australia for us to meet this guy that he's paying for, just tell him we prefer business, but if he has to put us in first, that's fine.
Right.
Sounds good. No. And we also got another email from a girl named Amber.
Amber.
And she says,
Really? That's
oh.
what she wrote?
How do you spell that?
It's D. Oh, no. Hold on 1 second. I have to cut this out. I'm reading something that I missed the first time.
I'm offended. This is a cease and desist order.
Is it something about Nigerian prince and a bank account number?
Plagiarism.
It's a scam.
If I just send them $500, we get like $2 million.
That's awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah. No. She says, I've been a fan on and off for the past year or so, and you guys keep saying, if you'd like to be a host, let us know.
Oh, boy.
Well, if it's at all possible, can I participate? I've done random podcasts here and there, and I'm interested in doing my own too. Please let me know if y'all are still open to a guest host. I love top lists, she says. Her name is Amber.
Very cool.
And she has her...
She loves topless?
Topless.
Is she going to come in and do a topless top 10 list?
I doubt that.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
You know what? Since this will be our first email that has a communication for hosting a show, I thought about this a little bit. We should probably set up a proxy on the show. So, for example, let Amber pick one of our 4 regular hosts, and she can proxy her idea for her show through that person, just to be a sounding board to say, here's the idea that I want to bring to the show. That proxy. So let's say she picks Andrea because she's a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I want to work with Andrea and just, bounce my idea off of her. And if Andrea says, yeah, that'd be a great idea, then when Amber comes to host the show or calls in to host the show, it's already been somewhat vetted by at least one member of the show. What do you think about doing that?
I think it's a great idea. Amber, I call her Amber. Andrea. She did give me a number. Did you want to call her and try
Right
to get
now?
hold of her? No,
All
not right now. Not right now.
What's the phone number?
Oh, it's no.
Did I wait?
Oh, what? You almost got me. She also sent a link to a video. Apparently, she does some YouTube videos too.
Oh, sweet.
And this video she sent the.
No, that says RedTube.
Oh yeah, no. It says "Let's Talk Comics" is like the name of the show. Digital comics versus the real thing. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I haven't seen this at all. So
A nerd.
yeah. So this is Amber.
Hashtag nerdy girl.
It's got a weird effect. It's like background sound.
Hey, it's Amber again, coming at you live and direct from Montebello, California, with this week's fantastic forum comment of the week. So I was going through my actual physical.
She's at least
comics,
well-spoken.
and I was wondering about going online and buying a bunch of back issues that I don't have. Like I'm missing a couple of the Umbrella Academy.
All right, so we get the idea.
Yeah, we get
She's- She's
So-
like a young, maybe early 20s girl. She's wearing one of those old-timey hats, though.
It's a golfer hat.
Yeah, it's
She's
the
cute.
fedora. No, it's not a fedora. It's a
It's a golfer
different
hat.
Ball cap.
It's a hipster hat.
It's a golfer hat.
So
down
Andrea,
for
if
it.
I give you the number, do you want to give her a call and like kind of set something up? No, it's
Into the mic,
I
baby.
just think she might feel more comfortable maybe if a girl.
Maybe not, though. Some girls don't like other girls.
Okay, I mean I can do it. I guess. I mean,
All right, you be your proxy this time, Tach.
okay.
Just to at least.
I probably won't call her. I'll probably just email her back.
I'll be
and
the
set everything
proxy.
up.
Just give me your phone number.
No, so we'll definitely Amber and the other guy. I didn't want to say his name. His name is Alistair. I'll say that much.
Okay.
Alistair and Amber, thank you so much for emailing us, and we will absolutely get a hold of you and set some stuff up.
Sweet.
Okay, so on to the list. Are we excited?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys have seen The Matrix, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, familiar. You don't have to be too familiar as long as you understand the
I
concept.
know what it is, yeah.
Okay.
I liked it the first time around better in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
When it was called Bill and Ted. Okay. So if for those people who haven't seen the show, basically in a nutshell, the show is about how everybody lives in a computer simulated world and we're all just like hooked up through wires in like a body farm kind of a thing.
Yep, acting as batteries for the.
Acting as batteries to power the machine. And so Keanu Reeves, our hero, he rages against the machine.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Very good reference.
And he becomes unplugged and realizes that life is just a simulation. Anyway, there's a scene in it where he sees a black cat, cross paths twice, and he's
Déjà vu.
like, Déjà vu. And they go,
African
"Ooh."
American cat.
Sorry.
2016.
They prefer, yeah.
Sorry.
And so they say, oh, it's a glitch in the Matrix. This is what a déjà vu is. It means it was a glitch. So, after going in a roundabout way describing that, the name of this list is the Top 10 Twisted Stories of Matrix Glitches.
Ooh, interesting.
I like it.
Now, there's it's not in any particular order. There is a twist this week.
Nice, a twist.
Yes.
Now, does this have to do with glitches that were actually in the Matrix, or does this have to do with like real life things?
Yeah, real life
okay.
story. I specifically didn't say true stories because I don't know if these are true. I didn't fact check anything.
Okay.
These are just things I came across online. I don't mean it like that. That I stumbled upon online. That's gross.
But bum.
Things you came all over online.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
So the twist this week is one of these happened to me.
Ooh.
So you gotta figure
so
out
that
which one.
must be true.
That's the come across online one.
Yeah. My references for this week are from the YouTube channels of Hell Freezer, Killer Orange Cat, Lazy Masquerade, King Spook, and Creepy the Pasta. Oh, also Reddick.
King Spook.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that sounds like my stripper name.
So here we go. Are we ready?
Shoot.
All right.
Ready.
So here we go. Are we ready? Oh,
Deja
did
vu.
I just say that?
It was Deja Vu.
Or was
Fucking
that a-
guy over here.
Fucking man.
Wow.
Anyway, okay, number 10.
10.
You didn't say anything, right?
What?
We usually add
I
a
said
little
ready.
goofy.
No, I was
Oh.
number 10.
10. There you go.
Was that real?
Yep.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one I call the video. These are all written in the first person, so here we go. One day, I was just waking up and made my morning coffee like I always do. Once I sat down and got comfortable, I decided to check my news feed on Facebook. As I was just scrolling through with no agenda at all, I came across a video. Ew, gross. Just your run-of-the-mill current event video. Normally, I don't watch these types of videos, but I clicked on it anyway. As I'm watching it, I get the feeling of deja vu. I felt like I had seen this video before. Not only that, but I realized I was reciting the video as it played. I somehow knew word for word of the video, but I was sure I hadn't seen it before. I checked the release date of the video. It had just been uploaded 20 minutes before. So I checked to make sure it wasn't a re-upload of an older video, and it wasn't. To this day, I still have no idea how I knew that. Dun, dun, dun.
Spooky.
Ooh.
Spooky. Now, here's a
Yes.
qualifying question. I don't want it to give away, though. On some of these, when you come across these stories, are you going to say, like,
Gross.
where the person was from, what
I
the
don't always have that information.
year was, that kind of stuff? Okay.
If I had that information, because I typed all this stuff up,
Okay.
None of this was a copy and paste kind of a thing. So this is like my own writing through most of it. Some of it was a little word for word, but most of it's just my own writing. Like I would read the story or listen to the story on YouTube or something, and then just type up everything I remembered about it. So
Okay.
Like
in
a
a way.
Cliff Notes style.
Yeah. Number 9,
Nueve.
the window. When I was 15, my parents had gone out of town to visit some relatives. I had convinced them that I was old enough to stay home alone for a few days. They were a little reluctant, but agreed to it. One night, I was a bit bored and just playing video games when I looked up at the clock and realized it was already past 2 a.m. I hadn't realized how time had flown, so I decided to go to bed. As I arrived to my bedroom upstairs, I decided for some strange reason to open my bedroom window and look out. I don't normally do this, so I was puzzled as to why I wanted to. As I opened my window, I looked out into the dark neighborhood. But then I looked down. When I did, I saw a man with a mask on and was climbing up a ladder he had placed on the side of the house. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. Just then, I woke up in my bed.
I was going to say, that sounds like a bad dream.
It had been a very intense, very realistic dream. As I kind of sat there in a daze, I did hear a noise outside.
Oh, fuck. That's spooky.
So, as I open the window and look down, I see a man with a mask placing a ladder against the house and begins to climb it. I'm sure he assumed nobody was home since my parents' car hadn't been in the driveway for a couple of days. This time when I tried to scream, it worked. I screamed so loud that my neighbor, sorry, is just stricken as a 15-year-old boy and just like screamed. I screamed so loud that my neighbor heard it and turned the outside light on to the house next door. The masked man also heard it, and when he did, he jumped off the ladder and took off into the night, leaving the ladder behind.
Sounds like a Benny Hill skit. Yep. That's spooky.
Yeah. Crazy.
Where did you get that one from?
Nice try, Ray Burrito.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not giving
the
it.
true one.
You have to figure out which one of these happened to
So
me,
far, I'm
which you
going-
don't figure out till the end.
So far, I'm
Oh,
going
that's
with number
right.
10 is tax.
That one
far.
sounded like bullshit. I hope that's not yours. But it sounded kind of...
All right, let's move on. Number 8,
He did
Ojo.
The Child. Creepy already, isn't it?
Yes.
No.
It was just like any other day. Sunny, partly cloudy, about 74 degrees. Nice day. I was walking to a corner store when I see a woman, somewhere in her 30s, was walking on the sidewalk towards me. She had a boy walking alongside with her. I assumed it was her own child. The kid must have been about 4 or 5 years old. I didn't think much of it as we slowly walked towards each other. Of course, I was going to say the usual greeting as I passed, like hello or how are you? But then an image appeared in my head as we became closer. I had a vision of the boy punching me in the stomach as they walked past. I kind of giggled to myself as to why I would have this image in my head, especially since I had never seen or met these people before in my life. And why would the boy do that anyway? I thought to myself. As we grew closer, I had decided to go to the ever-popular hello. Just as I'm about to say it as we pass, the young boy reaches up and punches me right in the stomach as they walk past.
Holy shit.
I gave a quick ugh as I received the blow. The mother didn't seem to do much about it, which was odd. All I could do was turn and look at them in amazement as they continued on their path.
Wow, so not even a word.
Weird.
Fucking little brat kids. That's all that is.
But how did he know it was going to happen?
Ooh.
He should have put his hands over his stomach just as a precaution.
Right. Number 7.
So these are all supposedly true stories pulled from the internet.
Supposedly. I mean,
Okay.
I can't confirm it, so I don't know.
7.
Okay. The hotel room. One weekend, my family and I went on vacation, and we were staying in a hotel. One night, my parents, my sister, and I went to a local bar. We had all had a good time drinking and dancing. When we returned back to the hotel, my sister was pretty drunk and thought it'd be fun to go down to the pool, and she went out the door. It was late at night. She was a bit drunk, so I decided to go after her.
Let's go streaking in the quad.
If anything, just to keep an eye on her so she wouldn't drown. As I went out the door and down the hall to the elevators, I couldn't find my sister. I was a bit surprised because I wasn't that far behind her. I walked to the elevators and was sure I'd see her there. Later, I did find out that she had played a trick on me and was hiding around a corner and went back to the room as a joke. But since I didn't know this at the time, I continued down the elevator and out to the pool area. Of course, she was nowhere to be found, so I headed back up to the room. Upon arriving at my floor and turned right, then I froze and had a moment of forgetting what I was doing exactly. Excuse me.
I hate that. I have those like every day.
A moment later, my memory had returned and continued down the hall to my hotel room. As I got closer to the room, I noticed that my room and the room next to it was gone. Just a blank wall. I looked at the numbers of the rooms, 709, 710, 711, 714, but my room, 712 and 713 were gone. I thought maybe for a moment that I'd forgotten what room I was in. So I decided to take the walk of shame and go back down to the lobby and have to ask which room I was in. But as I reached the elevator door, I had that moment of forgetfulness again. But this time it only lasted for a second. I then had the feeling to check one more time for the room. As I walked back down the hall to my room, there they were again. My room 712 and 713 were there. I was totally confused. I used my key and went inside. My sister, of course, was there to laugh at me from her little joke she played on me. I can't seem to figure out what exactly happened that night.
LSD. That's what happened to that kid. Holy shit.
Or he
I have
walked
that-
into a different dimension.
I have that where I will walk into a room and completely space out and forget
Yeah,
what
like,
I originally
what did I come
came
in
in
here
for.
for?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do that all the damn time.
I think almost everyone does.
I did that a few minutes ago when I walked over there to get something on my backpack. I was like, what did I walk over here for? Glitch in the Matrix, man. All right, number 6.
6. 6.
The girlfriend. This one's a little longer. Sorry. When I was in high school, I met 2 girls. One was named Michelle and the other was Anna. I spent a lot of time with Anna over the course of 3 years. We actually were dating. I have pictures and chat logs to prove it. I met Michelle through Anna. After high school, I went to college, and Anna and I had broken up for some reason or another. Just life happens, I suppose. Gradually, just lost touch. A few years later, I run into Michelle in public somewhere, and I decide to say hello. But she seemed to act like she had no idea who I was.
Publix, that's a clue.
That's exactly what I was
No,
thinking.
in public, not Publix.
Oh, it sounded like you said Publix.
Sorry, in
Publix
public.
is a grocery store pretty much only in Florida, so that kind of
Yeah.
narrows it down for us.
No, I said in public. But she had no idea who I was. I told her my name, and she just stared at me. So I asked her if her name was Michelle Jones, and she went to my high school, and if she was friends with Anna. She said yes, but still seemed very confused. I told her a few other things to jog her memory, but then her expression changed to absolute terror. She got angry and started yelling, "Who the fuck are you? Get away!" So with no other options, I left. That really freaked me out. How could she not remember me? Maybe she had suffered a head injury or something, but decided to look up Anna on Facebook. I found her and sent her a message. She did verify who she was, but had no recollection of me. I gave her my number and asked her to call me. She did. While on the phone, I continued to give her details so she could remember me, and she continued to be clueless. I mentioned to her that her and I had dated for almost 3 years. She laughed
Jeez.
and said that was ridiculous because she had dated Mike all through high school. Who the fuck is Mike? I wondered. She accused me of playing a trick and just hung up on me. The whole situation bothered me for a while, but I managed to let it go. Then a few months ago, I decided to go through some old audio files I had backed up some time ago.
This is Tach.
I sometimes record answering machine messages and save them. I know that must sound weird, but you have to understand I'm autistic, so file managing is important to my life. I created files and categorized them if they are important to me. As I listen to the files, I hear voices of girls that I didn't recognize. One was named Jessica, and the other was Heather. Both declared that they loved me, but I hadn't known anyone by those names. I called up some friends I had back in high school and asked them about it. Neither of them remembered Michelle or Anna, nor did they remember a Heather, but they did say I was absolutely in love with a girl named Jess. Apparently, they had met her, and that
This
I would
dude's a baller. Jesus, there's a lot of girls in this guy's life.
Sounds like you
and
Hey,
met
now.
her,
before me.
and that I would never shut up about her, and that I was absolutely heartbroken when she broke up with me. Nobody recalled her last name or any details about her that I could look her up with. They did describe her physically the same, and they all described her as having a high-pitched squeaky voice, just like the girl in the file labeled Jessica. I still have no idea who this girl is. I did find some old photos of Anna and I while we were together, so I know this is not just in my head.
That's creepy as fuck.
Right?
That's a lot of time missing out of these people's lives.
Yeah, I can't even think of it.
I don't know. Audio
Yeah.
files. See, I'm trying to listen for the one that's Tach's story. Audio file sounds like him or like something one of his buddies Jimmy would do. That sounds like them. So I don't
He's
know.
not autistic.
That's true.
Okay, so this is the point where we take a break.
All right.
We are halfway through, but when we come back, we're going to hear about a forgetful boyfriend. Or is he?
That's not very uncommon.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Cool.
All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night.
Adam. If you enjoy the hosts or the content of the Twisted 10, be sure to check out our other show. It's called Living Podcariously. While the Twisted 10 may get crass and explicit occasionally, it holds no water to Living Podcariously. We do get a little bit more rough and raw on that show. We have a lot of fun producing it and have had some awesome guests. And as always, thanks for listening.
DJ Gil Lugo is bringing back the old school.
Just a castaway, an island lost at sea. Another lonely day, no one here but me. More loneliness than any man could bear. Rescue me before I fall into despair.
And welcome back to the Twisted 10. Ray Brito had to step out of this show. He does have a hell of a drive. Yes, he has a drive. Check
I
out
have
his...
far to go too.
You walk upstairs with me.
That is so far. That is like 2 flights of
If you're
stairs.
really lucky, I'll carry you upstairs.
Not when you're sick.
good
We
point.
wouldn't make it very far. We'd
Yeah,
be
I'm kind
down
of under the
stairs.
weather. Check out Ray's podcast, by the way. Just give him another plug. The Gallows Humor Podcast. He does one-on-one interviews with people of all different industry. Podcasters, like I did one with him. Tach's going to do one. Maybe we'll get Andrea in on one. He also does interviews with other stand-up comics, owners of bars, like the guy that owns Open Mic. So give him a listen. It's a good show. It's really, really well produced.
Indeed.
So, all right, where were we?
Okay, so what we've been listening to is the top 10 twisted stories of Matrix glitches. And just as a reminder, the first 5 was the video,
I think that's you.
the window,
The windows to the wall.
the child, the hotel room, and the girlfriend.
You know, if you put all of those together,
Mm-hmm.
The hotel child, window girlfriend.
yeah, that's
The
kind of creepy.
video, window, child, hotel room, girlfriend.
That's like a pedophile right there. Jesus Christ. It's a pedophile like Peeping Tom. All right, sorry.
So now it leaves us to number 5.
Cinco.
5 golden ring.
This one's called The Drive.
All right.
When I was 17, I was sitting around bored in my parents' suburban home. I lived here my whole life. It was December, so we had a little bit of snow on the ground, and it was cold outside, but not too cold. I was sitting on the bumper of my car and kind of drawing a little wavy pattern in the dirt of the back of my windshield of my Jeep Cherokee. To save on gas, I decided to walk to the corner store to get a soda and a snack. It was a nice day out, so I headed down the street. As I'm walking, I hear a friendly double honk from a car that was coming up behind me.
Honk, honk.
Good. As I
Sound
look,
effects. I added some sound effects to it.
you know, I thought about when I was writing this, I was like, how cool if you like added like the sound effects, beep beep, and like a car, stuff like
Or like
that.
a train horn.
The crunching through the snow as you walk.
yeah, just all the sound effects of the story would be awesome.
Sinuses, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Good job. So let me just back up a little bit. As I'm walking, I hear a friendly double honk from a car that was coming up behind me. As I look, I see that it's my car. Someone was driving my car, and they had just drove past me. I could tell it was my car because it was the same make, same model, same faded color, same scratch and dent on the driver's side door, same partially removed pinstripe, and not only that, but the exact same pattern in the back window I had just drawn in the back windshield. It was definitely my car, but I couldn't see who was driving because I had looked just as it was going past me. I watched it as it turned down towards the corner store where I was heading. When I got to the store, I asked the clerk if someone had come in from my family or if he had seen my car. He assured me he saw nobody from my family or my car. I paid for my things and went back home. When I arrived, my car was sitting there. I ran inside and asked if someone had driven my car, and my sister said they hadn't. It had only been 35 minutes since I saw it drive past me. I went back outside to inspect it. The hood, by the way, this guy should work for like the FBI. The hood wasn't warm, it was cold. I even popped the hood and felt down into the engine to see if it was warm. It wasn't. I looked inside of the floor mats to see if there were any wet footprints on the floorboard since the ground was wet due to melting snow. There wasn't. I checked in front of the vehicle, and there were no snow patches in front, no tire marks. Or there were snow patches in front, but no tire marks. I even went as far as to check underneath for any water splashes, and there wasn't. The tops of the tires were still dry. Then I started to think about it. I'm 100% sure it was my car. I know it was, I just can't explain it. I also realized I was wearing a black hoodie with my favorite band on the back, the Ataris. Now, I'm kind of known to give friendly honk if I see someone that shares the same pop culture I do. So if I had seen someone wearing that, I absolutely would have honked. I've done it in the past a few times.
So it was
himself.
It was another dimensional rift that opened up that guy honked at himself from some other dimension. That's what it was.
Creepy.
Yeah, that's spooky, man. This could be the Halloween episode.
Number 4.
Quattro.
The crash.
Crash into me.
When I was about 15 or so, I was sitting at home in my room on a Wednesday afternoon. I was just watching TV and eating a sandwich. My father was in the living room thumbing through a magazine while my mother was folding and putting away laundry. Nothing too special about this particular day so far. One of the walls to my room is shared with the garage. When all of a sudden I hear a very loud crash coming from the garage. It was very loud. It made me jump off my bed. I was shaking, standing there in horror as to what that could have been. I ran out to the living room to see what that was, but my father was just still sitting there, thumbing away at a magazine. He looks up and sees my look of horror and still visibly shaking. He asked what was wrong. I asked, "Didn't you hear that?" He said he hadn't heard a thing, which was surprising because it sounded like a bomb had gone off in the garage. My mother had come out of the laundry room to see what the commotion was about. I asked her if she'd heard it, and she hadn't. I told my parents what I'd heard, and my father went out to investigate the garage. I was too frightened to even come close to the garage door. He steps out and sees nothing. Nothing had fallen over. Nothing was out of place. I peeked out to look for myself, and he was right. Nothing was wrong. A week goes by, and I'd pretty much forgotten about the incident and was sitting in my room one early evening when all of a sudden I heard the loud noise again. I jumped up and went to the living room, but this time they had heard it. My father ran out to the garage to see what happened. A car had struck our house and slammed right into the garage. Luckily that my mother's car was there, or else it might have gone all the way through my wall. But that was the exact sound I heard a week before.
Oh,
exactly
wow.
the same. I'll never forget it.
That's spooky.
Mm-hmm.
Another prediction of the future.
Yeah,
Right.
these are a lot of these are like precogs.
Yeah. Number 3,
Trece. Oh no, tres.
3 branches.
the birthday. This is the one I give the little teaser to.
All right.
Break. I was sitting around one night and realized I couldn't remember when my girlfriend's birthday was. I felt stupid because I'd been with her for just over a year. So I called her and had to suck it up and ask her when it was. She was a little hurt by the question, but then told me it was February 15th, huffed, and then hung up. I felt bad and wasn't sure how I could have forgotten. A week later, I was thinking about it again and then realized I forgot her birthday again.
Jeez.
So I once again had to call her up and ask again. She huffed and reminded me that it was February 15th and hung up. This time I wrote it down. A day or so later, I found that I had actually written it down in my phone on a notepad app. When I pulled it up, it said that her birthday was August 2nd, not February 15th.
That's odd.
So I once again called her up. I explained that I needed her to tell me one more time when her birthday was, but when she told me the usual answer of February 15th, I told her that I found a note I had made that her birthday was August 2nd. She seemed confused by that, and we were trying to remember when we had celebrated her last birthday. She got so confused by it all that she went to her parents and asked them. They agreed that it was February 15th, but then they too felt weird about it. So much that they went to get her birth certificate out just to make sure. And when they found it, it had the birth date of August 2nd.
What?
Really?
Dumbfounded, they decided to look for more documentation to ensure the date to be correct. They were going over past birthday memories, and none of them seemed to recall an exact date. Some had even recalled maybe celebrating 2 birthdays in 1 year.
Huh.
That's it.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Could you imagine you've been celebrating your birthday wrong your entire life?
That's stupid parents.
But why would he have August 2nd in his phone? It's almost like she said it at least once.
Yeah, that's weird.
Hmm.
Drugs are bad.
Yeah. Number 2,
Dos.
the hour. This is the one I was telling you about in the last show. I said, ooh, that reminds me of something here.
Okay.
Okay. Myself and 2 friends of mine were on a road trip heading to my friend Mike's parents' house for a celebration. We were driving late at night to beat traffic. As we were driving along, the headlights go out, the dashboard lights go out, and the radio turns off. We looked out the window, and now in front of us was a vehicle pulled off to the side of the road by a police officer that hadn't been there a second before. We all just sat there stunned. After about a minute, my friend who was driving goes, "Did that just happen to anyone else?" My friend in the back seat says, "I thought I just fell asleep." Then we realized the clock on the dashboard was an hour later than it had just been a minute before. We tried to tell ourselves that it maybe was just an electrical failure, but when we arrived at the home, we were over an hour late.
Damn, that was alien abduction shit right there.
Alien abduction.
That's what that shit is. Missing time, it's either alien abduction or Xanax, because that shit'll do that to you too.
LSD.
Xanax takes chunks of time and just makes it disappear.
All of
Reality.
these could have been LSD.
Well, that's true too.
Last one, number 1.
Uno.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
The downpour.
The Down syndrome? What?
This definitely could have been in Florida.
My friend and I were walking on campus from one class to the dorms. We both had our hoodies because it was raining a little bit. Nothing too bad, just light rain. When all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it began to rain really hard and loud. I ran to escape from getting wet. And as quickly as it came, it was gone. Once it stopped, I stopped only to hear my friend calling out my name. I looked back and she was standing back behind me, calling for me. I walked back to her. She said that I had just disappeared. I told her that I didn't disappear, I just ran because of the downpour. She said that there wasn't any downpour, and I had just literally disappeared for a few seconds and then reappeared.
That's
Ooh.
creepy.
Weird.
Maybe she got struck by lightning as he was running.
There was no downpour.
So, I don't know.
What if the
was
ground was
lightning.
wet? You could easily see that.
It wasn't raining.
Well, it was raining, light rain.
Oh, but
Maybe
not
he was
heavy.
maybe he was running at such a fast speed. It was faster than the eye could see. He's the human Flash. I figured this out. I know what
You got it
number
all
one
It was
figured out.
LSD.
Okay, so there is a twist here, just to remind you
All right.
that one of these out of the top 10 happened to me. I'll go back through the list and give you a little reminder.
Perfect.
Number 10 is the video. This is the one where the person watches a video on Facebook and for some reason has seen it before, have it memorized even. Number 9 is the window. This is the guy that looks out the window, sees the guy with a mask trying to climb up a ladder. Number 8 is the child. That's the one where the guy's walking and has a vision of the kid punching him in the stomach. Number 7 is the hotel room. With the guy, the rooms disappear in the hallway and then reappear. Number 6 is the girlfriend. This is the guy with who's my girlfriend. Nobody seems to know her anymore. Number 5 is the drive. This is when the guy sees his car going past him. Number 4 is the crash. It's the kid in the garage and the big smash in the garage. Number 3 is the birthday, where they don't know when this girl's birthday is. Number 2 is the hour. That's when the missing time thing you were talking about. And number 1 is the downpour, which we just heard. So
All right.
So
Andrea,
which one happened to me?
You go first. You see which one you think really happened to Tach.
I can help you eliminate some.
The snow is gone because you grew up here, right?
Very well. I spent some time up north, but let's go ahead and eliminate that one because snow. No. You guys know I didn't go to a major college, so I didn't have any dorm rooms, so that gets rid of the downpour one. That's not me.
I don't think that you were in a situation where you had, and this is kind of personal, but the one where you're in a garage and hear the loud bang and the car comes through the next week. In that situation, the mom and the dad were both out in there in the living room. I know you lived with your mom for a while, but I didn't know if your dad was in the picture.
Yeah,
so
my parents divorced when I was like 4 years old.
Yeah, so we can see deductive reasoning. We can eliminate that one.
I was going to guess that one out.
Mm-hmm. So
what's left? We've got the video. We've got.
I think it's the video one.
That's one. I think it is.
Yeah, because I can see Tach sitting on his Facebook feed in the morning or something, going through looking at stuff. I think that's I think that one.
Or the masked guy.
And the masked guy seems too creepy. I can't imagine a 15-year-old Tach screaming out of a window. He wouldn't scream. He would roar. Roar! That'd be Tach.
Yeah, I picked the video.
All right, we picked the video, Tach.
Pick the video. Okay. So let's go through them here. Normally video is the first one I'm going to read, but I'll just save it. Okay, the window with the kid looking out the window, not me. The hotel room, missing hotel rooms, not me. The girlfriend with don't know who Anna is, Heather, not me. The drive with the kid sees his car go past, not me. The crash, like we already said, not me.
The hour losing time.
The birthday with the girl doesn't know her birthday, not me. The missing hour, not me. The downpour, not me. So it only leaves us to two, which is the video and the child. The video, not me.
Oh, we got it wrong.
So the
You're
child.
Psychic. Tell my future.
So one day I was walking down the sidewalk. I see this mother and kid walking towards me.
You got punched in the
stomach. I had a vision of this kid. I was like, why would he want to punch? That's weird. And sure enough, this kid walked past, right in my stomach. And I was like, oh! And I just looked back because I was shocked because I had seen a vision of that just seconds before.
Ooh.
So weird.
So what do you see in Adam and I's future?
Going to sleep.
You punching me in my stomach?
Going to sleep, maybe?
Oh my gosh.
It's a gift.
Wow, he's really good.
He is good. He is good at this. Yep.
You should quit your day job.
Well, maybe.
You could get this really pretty crystal ball and put lots of beads all over your house and wear a pretty thing on your head.
Have incense burning.
Madame Tax.
Wash with rocks.
I foresee it. That means it's going to happen.
It's totally going to happen. It's all happening.
Okay, so if anybody else, we already heard some emails that were already sent to us. If you'd like to send an email, just say you like the show or you hate the show or you want to be on the show or suggestions for top 10 lists, you can email us at thetwisted10@gmail.com. And you can also follow us on Twitter at thetwisted10 and on Facebook as well. What am I forgetting, Adam?
I think that's it.
Sounds good.
We may be able to incorporate taking calls live on recording days for Twisted 10 here pretty soon, like we do with our other show, Living Podcariously. So stay tuned for more details about that. Just follow us on Facebook. That's where we'll probably post it. So just watch our feed.
I'll post it on Twitter as well. So Facebook, Twitter, whatever.
All right. Who's got the next show?
Who does have the next show?
Is it me? Is it back around to me now?
It's you, man.
All right. So I do have a teaser.
Okay, good.
So this teaser is what we do. That's just what I'm going to say.
All right.
Is what we do.
All right, so let's all think about that.
Those 4 words.
We do what we say.
Can I ask one question about it?
Of course.
When you say we, do you mean us specifically in this room or just we as a people in society?
Us. The 4 of us.
Okay.
It's what we do.
All right, so let's think about that for the week.
Podcast?
I don't know. Let's not give too much away. All right, so for the Twisted 10, my name is Tach.
I'm Adam.
I'm Andrea Joy.
And Ray Burrito is incognito.
Hey, that sounds fun.
It rhymes.
Incognito.
I can't beatbox.
You guys.
And then all I have to say, too, this will be a reference to Living Podcariously. Straight guys making out wins all. Just saying. If you don't know what that means,
Straight-
check out the latest episode of Live by
Straight
Gears.
guys making out always beats
But everyone loves a sparkly unicorn.
sparkly unicorns. Yeah, that's some code shit right there. We just started the race
Figure
war.
out what that means and email us the answer. First one to answer it.
Gets a custom-made Twisted
Careful what
10
you promise.
puffy paint t-shirt.
Careful what you promise.
Puffy paint t-shirt. Bedazzled. 50-year-old women are... I mean, we can't keep these in stock.
Yep, they're begging for those downloads now. All right, you want to get out of here?
Yeah, man, let's get out of here. We'll see you next week.
All right, see ya.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to The Twisted 10, bringing you original and unique, host-created top 10 lists, recorded live in world-famous Cocoa Beach, Florida, with hosts Tach Van Sickle and Adam Poston.
And welcome to another episode of The Twisted 10. The Twisted 10, if you didn't hear the intro, is a unique host-created top 10 list. And each host that week brings their list, and the other guests on the show or the other co-hosts have no clue what it is. So we've had quite a few Twisted 10. It's a piece of spam that we get. That sounds like a legitimate email.
This
That's
is,
cool.
Yeah. So,
Dude, I'm on board. Let's do it.
Yeah, so I'm going to get back with him probably tomorrow.
Just when you talk to him and you set up the trip to Australia for us to meet this guy that he's paying for, just tell him we prefer business, but if he has to put us in first, that's fine.
Right.
Sounds good. No. And we also got another email from a girl named Amber.
Amber.
And she says...
Really? That's
oh.
what she wrote?
How do you spell that?
It's D. Oh, no. Hold on one second. We have to cut this out. I'm reading something that I missed the first time.
I'm offended. This is a cease and desist order.
Is it something about Nigerian prince and a bank account number?
Plagiarism.
It's a scam.
If I just send them $500, we get like $2 million.
That's awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah. No.
That we've already done in the past. This is episode, I think, 35, 36, somewhere in there. I don't know. I'm not your host this week, though. My name is Adam. I am a guest this week. Let's throw it over to Andrea.
My name is Andrea Joy, and I'm also a guest this week.
All right, and special guest with us in the studio this week, who isn't hosting, he's just sitting in with us this week, is Mr. Ray Brito.
What's up?
How you doing, Ray? Ray is the host of the Gallows Humor Podcast. Same place you found our show. Do a search for Gallows Humor Podcast. You can find it. And, Tack, you got to forgive me. I got a little bit of a cold this week, so I'm sounding a little bit under the weather. I apologize.
Sound like shit.
You
I know.
sound sexy.
I mean sexy.
I'm
I
all
get those
nasally.
confused.
Nasally is the same thing as sexy, which is the same thing as shit.
Makes you feel better,
What's
though.
that, Ray?
Autocorrect.
Yeah, correct.
So who's hosting this week, Tack?
So this week's host is me.
Woohoo.
My name is Tack. Hi.
Hey,
Welcome.
Tack.
Hi, Tack.
Hi, Tack. And so this week I am hosting the show. I'm excited to bring you this new list this week. But first thing I want to bring up is we got a couple of emails.
All right.
To the show.
Very nice.
So this
How do
first one,
people email us, by the way?
they can email us at
Computer?
thetwisted10 at gmail.com. If you have any ideas for top 10 lists, or maybe you want to do your own list on the show, we can do that through Skype, or if you live in the area, you can come out to the studio. So we got a couple of emails. Now this first guy, I'm not going to give his name away in this one.
Okay, that's probably good.
I will in the other one. I'll tell her first name. But this guy here, he runs. First of all, he's like all in top 10 lists. He loves top loves top 10 lists.
I can see how he found this show then.
Yeah, and he is a CEO and founder of. He lives over in Australia.
Crikey.
Yeah, and but I guess he's originally from the UK, and he's heavily influenced by top 10 lists. He says he's actually the CEO and founder of Official Top 10 Night, an events company that brings people together through the love of top 10 lists, proudly supporting suicide prevention organizations worldwide.
Oh, very cool.
So he's got some events coming up, and he loves the show and is interested in doing some
Is he
sort
ready
of...
to start sponsoring us? Was he interested in?
Well, he's thinking about also he's going to be starting up maybe
they use
something...
that funny money down there in Australia, though, don't they? They don't use
those weird coins with the holes in them and shit.
Yeah, and like bones and teeth and stuff.
Yeah,
drop bears, all kinds of shit out there.
Rocks.
It's sad that our stereotype of Australians is either Crocodile Dundee or the alligator, the alligator hunter. Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
You can't forget
rest
about their
in peace.
kangaroo pets.
Those are our two stereotypes for them. What's their stereotype for the U.S.? Like Yosemite Sam or something? What's
cheeseburgers?
Cheeseburgers, okay.
That's it.
Cheeseburgers.
And so he has some events coming up and possibly doing some sort of radio show. Anyway, he wants to do some cross promotion with us.
That doesn't sound like